here again. Wanted to take a minute to tell you a little bit about my SK500 mini skid steer track loader. And this is just one of the things that we do with it. Right now I've got a implement on there that has the 2-inch, like a normal 2-inch hitch on it. And just real quick, I'm going to pull this bush up. We're going to have some other videos. I'm going to try to stitch them all together. I want to show you some of the implements that actually go with this. This is a very useful tool. I find myself using this tool around the farm more than probably anything else I have. So, just real quick, I'm going to see if we can pull this bush up. No problem whatsoever. So, I'm going to move on to showing you a couple of other implements that we have for it. This is that same implement that we have on the Ditch Witch SK500, and again, it's just a regular 2-inch hitch, but just show you the ability to move around a fairly large equipment trailer with no problem whatsoever. We're going to try to see if we can pull this other post out. Peasy. Alright, so now we have the auger attachment hooked up to the Ditch Witch SK500 mini skid steer, and I'll show you how well it digs a hole with no effort. Alright, so this is the low speed, high torque version, like a planetary gear drive auger. It will do the like the 24-inch bits and stuff. So if you're looking to do anything like that, that's the auger that you want to buy for the Ditch Witch. Just a close-up of it's actually a Toro version that I have of the auger. The 22802, I don't know if that's model number, serial number, it doesn't specifically say, but it is a Toro, and you see this big mechanism right here on the bottom. This is the planetary gear drive that allows you to do that low speed, high torque, so you can do those larger bits. This one here is probably about a 14-inch bit, I'm guessing. I really don't know exactly what it is. I never really measured it. It's what came with it. Most augers won't have this. They'll only have this attached basically almost right to a smaller box, and it's kind of almost like a direct drive, but it's got a quick attach. Everything's quick attach on the mini skids. So you just flip these two little arms right here and you back out from underneath it. Anything that's hydraulically driven, you do have to hook these two hoses up. And I'll show you real quick the drive mechanism on my Ditch Witch. The top left is a choke. The two left bars here around the orange are in this right here. This is left and right, forward and backwards. This is your throttle speed, key, fuel gauge, hour meter. This is your bucket. You have an up, a down, a tilt forward and tilt back. And then this will be your auxiliary hydraulic. So it'll either turn the auger forward or backwards, or the trencher forward or backwards. So if you got any questions about it, feel free to shoot them to me. This is the beast around here. This thing is awesome. Gets used all the time. Highly recommend the Ditch Witch SK500 or anything like it. The mini skids are awesome. Toro, I think Bobcat has one. There's a lot of different versions. Just make sure when you buy one that the attachments are going to work with it, because these attachments with a Toro and a Ditch Witch, they work together. There's a couple of others, I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but I don't think they work on the Bobcat. The Bobcat quick attach is different, so I don't know if you can use them. You might have to do some welding to make something work. You can probably make it work. And I'll show you a 3-point hitch that I actually fabricated to go on my mini skid, so I could use my 3-point scrape blade and stuff like that, the boom pole and all that. I'll show that to you in another video. Okay, so now I just have a regular flat bucket, smooth bucket. I think it's a 42-inch wide bucket. I'm just going to show you how well it does in a dirt pile. see, that's just a standard smooth blade bucket, and it does pretty good. You know, it's not a big dozer or anything like that, but for it to just be a small little skid steer, it's got a lot of capability. So you see that pile had actually been there for a while. That is not just wood, that is dirt that had kind of been packed in there. I actually moved a lot of that over here with my tractor, so I had run over it with the tractor a bunch, so it was packed in tightly, and that's why I was having a little bit of trouble trying to get it loosened up. But you know, to be a little bitty mini skid steer, it does really good. Okay, so real quickly, I just want to show you how easy it is to change out your implements. Just have a handle on this side to twist it, got a handle on the other side, twist it. Set it up right here. Was completely full of dirt. I can move it around with no problem. With the forks, those are forged steel forks, specifically made for the Ditch Witch. They're actually even Ditch Witch brand, and they do a great job. We use them a lot around here. We have a lot of little plastic pallets, wooden pallets. We're using the forks quite a bit, so that's just another implement I wanted to show you. Okay, so one more implement that I use quite a bit now that I've fabricated it. I fabricated it about a week ago. I bought this plate. It's a mini skid steer plate. It was a blank. Fits right on the front of the mini skid steer. And then I bought a 3-point implement. It's just what I call a quick attach implement. It's designed actually to go onto the back of a tractor so you can quickly attach implements. And what I did is I actually just welded on the plate that I bought. And why would I do that, you would ask? Well, I got an old angle blade, and these, if you buy this for a Ditch Witch, that angle blade attachment is actually, one of them's hydraulic. I think you can buy a manual one for a little bit less, but the 4-way blade is over $1,500. And the 6-way angle blade that is hydraulic is over $2,600. So I had this 3-point angle blade sitting around. I needed to move some dirt in a hurry, so I spent about 200 bucks. I think it was about $80 for the plate and $99 for the quick attach. Welded them together in about an hour, and it worked great. I actually was able to move a lot of dirt. After we built our greenhouse, I needed to move some dirt up against the baseboards, and it worked really good just to move that dirt around. So I'm gonna set this up right here, and I'll put it all together and show you how all of it comes together. And blade attached to the 3-point hitch attached to the Ditch Witch, and basically it's got manual adjustments on it. The angle blade does, you just pull this pin right here. You need to angle blade something to the side, like covering a ditch back up after you trenched it. That'll actually be the next implement that I show you, is our trencher. We can take that dirt pile and just kind of plow it right back into the trench. So that was one of the main reasons I built this, so I could use this angle blade. Not in great shape, but angle blades are about $400. I had this one, so I figured I would just use it until it didn't work anymore. So anyways, quick attachment, welded to a blank plate for the Ditch Witch. I think it's also made for a Toro Dingo, and it allowed me to utilize things like my angle blade, my boom pole, my rock rake. I actually have a set of forks for a 3-point hitch, so a lot of things like that you can do with it. I mean, obviously it doesn't have, you couldn't use a bush hog on it unless you fabricated some way of hooking up the bush hog to your hydraulics and run the bush hog off of a hydraulic pump. And you can do that, but it takes a lot more fabricating than what I did here, and I was just looking for something quick to be able to utilize my angle blade. So that's that. Okay, so the last implement I wanted to show you is my trencher, and pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you can see basically, I think it's a 36-inch deep trencher. Actually, I can angle it just a little bit more, and it'll dig a 36-inch trench. And you can actually change the blades out. Right now I have it for about a 3-inch wide trench, and I've dug 6-inch wide trenches with it. You have some different brackets and stuff like that you put on the teeth, and you widen the blade out, or the cutting path out, and then you have like a little scoop. It just moves the, I guess like an auger, it moves the dirt out of the way, kind of puts the dirt on one side of the trench. And that is a Ditch Witch brand. I don't have the hydraulics hooked up, but it works off the hydraulics just the same as the Auger does, and works really good. I've been able to dig a lot of trenches with it, and very impressed with how it does. So just wanted to show you that implement as well, all for the SK500. They make a lot of different ones. They have a 650, they have a 300 that's smaller than this one. This one's gas. But they have a 650, it's diesel, 750, 752, 850. I think they have like a 1050 now. It's actually almost the size of a regular skid steer. But works really good. This one works great. They're reasonably priced. I mean, I've seen them anywhere from 5,000 to 7,500, with about 1,000 to 1,500 hours on them. I think this one had about 1,000 hours on it when I bought it. It has 1364 on it now, and so I've put 364 hours on it since I bought it. And again, we use it quite a bit. So any questions, just shoot me questions in the comments. Thanks.